So we welcome all our guests for this New Year's Eve in New Vrindaban. We appreciate that you joined us, and we are so happy that you are following our instructions to have always your mask on and do social distancing as much as possible. You all know that currently COVID is spreading like a wildfire in the United States. Yesterday they had about 580,000 plus new cases. So thank you for being careful, protecting yourself, protecting ourselves, so that we can serve their lordships every day, also in the near future. You may have seen today our pujaris are always dressing the Lord so nicely, but I felt this morning as a last offering for the morning dressing in this year, the deities are looking so nice. So thank you. All the credits to our pujaris. Narayaman namaskritya navam chavai manotamam devim sarasvatim vyasam dato chayam mudirayet nashta preshu apadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhakti bhavati naishtaki. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. So we are reading today from Canto 10, Chapter 14, entitled Brahma's Prayers to Lord Krishna, and text number 8. I've chosen this text, first of all, it's a wonderful sloka. Second one, it allows us a little bit to analyze where we are at in our spiritual life, what happened in the year we're just ending, and what are the resolutions we would like to make for next year. Tate nukampāṁ su-samīkṣamāṇo. Tate nukampāṁ su-samīkṣamāṇo. Bhuñjāna evātma-kṛtaṁ vipākam. Bhuñjāna evātma-kṛtaṁ vipākam. hṛd-vāg-vapurbhir vidadhan namaste. hṛd-vāg-vapurbhir vidadhan namaste. Jīveta mukti-pade dāya-bhāk. Jīveta mukti-pade dāya-bhāk. Tate nukampāṁ su-samīkṣamāṇo. Bhuñjāna evātma-kṛtaṁ vipākam. hṛd-vāg-vapurbhir vidadhan namaste. Jīveta mukti-pade dāya-bhāk. Tate nukampāṁ su-samīkṣamāṇo. Bhuñjāna evātma-kṛtaṁ vipākam. hṛd-vāg-vapurbhir vidadhan namaste. Jīveta mukti-pade dāya-bhāk.
Tate nukampāṁ su-samīkṣamāṇo.
Tate nukampāṁ su-samīkṣamāṇo. ātma-kṛtam vipākam.
hṛd-vāg-vapurbhir vidadhan namaste.
hṛd-vāg-vapurbhir vidadhan namaste.
Tate anukampām su-samīkṣamāṇo.
Tate nukampāṁ su-samīkṣamāṇo.
Bhuñjāna evātma-kṛtaṁ vipākam.
Bhuñjāna evātma-kṛtaṁ vipākam.
hṛd-vāg-vapurbhir vidadhan namaste.
hṛd-vāg-vapurbhir vidadhan namaste.
Jīveta mukti-pade dāya-bhāk.
jīveta mukti-pade dāya-bhāk. Tate nukampāṁ su-samīkṣamāṇo. Bhuñjāna evātma-kṛtaṁ vipākam. hṛd-vāg-vapurbhir vidadhan namaste. Jīveta mukti-pade dāya-bhāk. Ladies? Tate nukampāṁ su-samīkṣamāṇo. Bhuñjāna evātma-kṛtaṁ vipākam. hṛd-vāg-vapurbhir vidadhan namaste. Jīveta mukti-pade dāya-bhāk. Tate nukampāṁ su-samīkṣamāṇo. Bhuñjāna evātma-kṛtaṁ vipākam. hṛd-vāg-vapurbhir vidadhan namaste. Jīveta mukti-pade dāya-bhāk. Word by word translation. That, therefore, te, your, anukampām, compassion, su-samīkṣamāṇaḥ, earnestly hoping for, bhuñjāna, enduring, eva, certainly, ātma-kṛtam, done by himself, vipākam, the fruitive results, hṛd, with his heart, vāg, words, vapurbhiḥ, and body, vidadhan, offering, namaḥ, obeisances, te, unto you, jīveta, lives, Jaya, anyone who, mukti-pade, the position of liberation, saha, he, dāya-bhāk, the rightful heir. Translation of purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jaya. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. Please repeat. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. Purport. Srila Sridhar Swami explains in his commentary that just as a legitimate son has to simply remain alive to gain an inheritance from his father, one who simply remains alive in Krishna consciousness, following the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, automatically becomes eligible to receive the mercy of the personality of Godhead. In other words, he will be promoted to the kingdom of God. The word su-samīkṣamāṇo indicates that a devotee earnestly awaits the mercy of the Supreme Lord, even while suffering the painful effects of previous sinful activities. Lord Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita that a devotee who fully surrenders unto him is no longer liable to suffer the reactions of his previous karma. However, because in his mind a devotee may still maintain the remnants of his previous sinful mentality, the Lord removes the last vestiges of the enjoying spirit by giving his devotee punishments that may sometimes resemble sinful reactions. I read it again. However, because in his mind a devotee may still maintain the remnants of his previous sinful mentality, the Lord removes the last vestiges of the enjoying spirit by giving his devotee punishments that may sometimes resemble sinful reactions. The purpose of the entire creation of God is to rectify the living entity's tendency to enjoy without the Lord, and therefore the particular punishment given for a sinful activity is specifically designed to curtail the mentality that produced the activity. Although a devotee has surrendered to the Lord's devotional service, until he is completely perfect in Krishna consciousness, he may maintain a slight inclination to enjoy the false happiness of this world. The Lord, therefore, creates a particular situation to eradicate this remaining enjoying spirit. This unhappiness suffered by a sincere devotee is not technically a karmic reaction. It is rather the Lord's special mercy for inducing his devotee to completely let go of the material world and return home back to Godhead. A sincere devotee earnestly desires to go back to the Lord's abode. Therefore, he willingly accepts the Lord's merciful punishment and continues offering respects and obeisances to the Lord with his heart, words and body. Such a bona fide servant of the Lord, considering all hardship a small price to pay for gaining the personal association of the Lord, certainly becomes a legitimate son of God, as indicated here by the words dāya-bhāk. Just as one cannot approach the sun without becoming fire, one cannot approach the supreme pure Lord, Krishna, without undergoing a rigid purificatory process, which may appear like suffering, but which is in fact a curative treatment administered by the personal hand of the Lord. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarupyascha Kripa-sindhu evacha Paritanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I said before, this verse chosen to a little bit meditate and analyze our past year and looking forward to what we would like to achieve in our next year. Of course, we have not just resolutions for the spiritual life, as we all have our dharma, whatever it may be. You know, if we are a parent, we have to maintain our family, we have to educate our children in Krishna consciousness, we have to take care of our elders. Specifically, of course, this morning we will focus on our spiritual aspect, you know. And it's important for us from time to time to really look back. Of course, there are shastras which allow us to detailed analyze where we are at in our spiritual path. But nevertheless, from time to time, if we just look a little back and try to see where we are, or even daily, based on the quality of our chanting, the dedication we have for our service, this actually will help us, you know. And if you set some goals, we need really goals that we make progress and we have somewhere an aim to look forward, you know. So this is such a nice sloka, you know. It defines how the Lord makes it so easy to go back to Godhead. If we read this sloka, we feel, wow, thank you much, so Lord. How is it that it could be so easy? And here Lord Brahma speaks to the Lord. So we know from Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna asked Arjuna to say something, and he says, what my devotee says, I will definitely follow. If I say it, I may come back to my little deviations Krishna plays sometimes with us, but here Lord Brahma says this verse, so it's something which we know Krishna is fixed on. So I will just repeat the verse for you so you get it back into your mind. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds, and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has to become his rightful claim. So it's the claim, the rightful claim that somebody can go back to the Lord. So we have here in front of us 3 conditions to go back to Godhead, if we take it out of this verse. So we have to earnestly await for the Lord's causeless mercy. First of all, we have to understand in our spiritual life that we completely depend on the Lord. It may not be the case when we come new to Krishna consciousness, at least it was for me. My covering was so thick, I had difficulty to understand all this when I first met devotees. But when we start doing devotional service, chanting the holy name, of course, it's cleansing the heart. Srila Prabhupada says that the mirror is full of dust, and we have cleansed the dust of the mirror so that we can see properly. And over time in spiritual life, we understand that we are a mercy case. I'm speaking for me, myself again, a mercy case. How can I ever be so pure, as it's said in this purport? We have to be completely pure to be able to go back to Godhead without the mercy of the Lord, And a little expansion on that, in Canto 2, we recently read about Vaikuntha, and we have been hearing about Gopakumar when he went to Vaikuntha. Gopakumar, a single or a simple cowherd man. He was going to Vrindaban, and somehow he met a sadhu, and the sadhu became his guru, and this given him the Gopal mantra. And based on that he was chanting this mantra, he had suddenly the power to go wherever he wanted to go, So he made a long journey. I'm really giving you an abbreviation here. So finally he came to Vaikuntha. And when he came to Vaikuntha, he actually had different experiences. First of all, of course, one of these spiritual airplanes came down to take him up to Vaikuntha, And when they brought him up there, they asked him, but he should dress differently when he goes to see the Lord and whatever. But he was such a Brijbasi that he felt he was a cowherd man. And when he arrived in Vaikuntha, he has seen airplanes coming from different places, and everybody looked like the Lord, with a yellow dhoti, 4-armed forms and whatever. And he was directly paying obeisances, and he said, this is not the Lord. These are the Vasis of Vaikuntha, So finally, he had to wait, and he was astonished that he even have to wait to go to see the Lord. But he had to go through different gates. Every time the gatekeeper would check if he is actually the right person to go and see the Lord, and they had to go to the supervisor of the gate, and he was always paying obeisances to the supervisor. But finally he come to the Lord, And when he has seen the Lord, he was so overwhelmed that he unconsciously fell down, So the servants of the Lord, they tried to bring him back, and so finally when he came back, the Lord said to him, welcome, my boy. I am fortunate, most fortunate to meet you. For so long I have been eager to see you. How sweet is this, and how sweet is the mercy of the Lord, this greeting, I am so fortunate to see you today, and I was eager to see you for so long. And then the Lord adds and said, my dear friend, you have passed many lifetimes without paying any attention to me at all. For so long, hope had made me dancing like a fool, thinking perhaps this lifetime, or this, he will finally turn his face toward me. So we see there, the Lord is so hankering so much that he's constantly thinking about each of us. Even if it's inconceivable, we know that there are so many billions of living entities on this planet, and we are part of the universe, and there are millions of universes, whatever. But the Lord has his inconceivable potency to be connected every minute, every second with all of us, as He is in our heart, you know. And the Lord said to him, His causeless mercy, I finally came as your guru to bring you back to me. So the Lord steps out and even comes as the guru so that He can convince or move Gopakumar forward back to actually Godhead, you know. Just to end the story in abbreviation, Gopakumar finally does not feel at ease at Vaikuntha, because there is all awe and reverence, and everybody is so effulgent and has all these wealth, and they are worshipping the Lord in this specific way, and they always encourage him, he should change his body and always also get the four-armed form and dress himself as all the others dress, but it does not happen. And finally the Lord engages Narada Muni to speak to him and give him a path that he should actually move on, because it seems not the right place for him. So he asked him to go to Ayodhya, finally to Dwaraka, and of course at the end he ends later on in Goloka Vrindavan. And there again Krishna, he runs towards him when he sees Gopakumar. He embraces him, and Krishna feels unconscious, you know, because he's so happy to see Gopakumar. And Lord Balaram comes, and he's thinking, is this a demon? What is happening here? Whatever. But finally Krishna again regains consciousness and steps up, and he spends his time with Gopakumar. So this is a little aspects of the causeless mercy, you know. We cannot evaluate the causeless mercy of the Lord, you know. It's this typical example we hear. Somebody is in trouble, he's asking the Lord to join him, and he sees that on the beach there are actually 2 footprints. But suddenly there is only 1 footprint, and the devotee says, "Oh my Lord, I was so much in trouble. Why you let me alone?" But the Lord says, "No, I had you on my shoulder. I was actually taking you onto my shoulders and bring you forward." So in life, many times we don't see the hands of the Lord, which are actually in our day-to-day activities. The second part is earnestly waiting. So we have to understand that, okay, the Lord's causeless mercy is there, and it's just a time span where it really happens that the Lord tries to bring us back to Godhead. Of course, they are, as I said before, events of causeless mercy day in, day out, but the big one is, of course, at the end of life. The next condition is patiently suffering the reactions. So we are all faced with different events in our life, you know. First of all, in the material life, it says padam padam. At every step there is a risk, at every step there is a challenge. And the topic is how we take it, you know. I always remember, if you ask Radhanath Maharaj how he's doing, he says, much better than I deserve. We all know he is such an unbelievable soul, but just his mood to say that much better than we deserve, that's the mood we should all have, that we think about millions of life, Shastra says, where we have not been thinking about Krishna, where we have not been thinking about spiritual life, we just try to enjoy and lord over in the material world. And what little challenge it's coming, even it may be for us monstrous, and we don't think we can overcome, we should actually have this attitude to patiently suffer and see this mercy of the Lord. And the third condition is offering respectful obeisances with his heart, words and body. So we do this in the temple room so often. We actually bow down and offer obeisances with the body. We say our mantra. And important here is the aspect of the heart. It's not something on top of our head, something logic. It comes as an expression of our love, as minuscule as it is, to the Lord, because we see his cause of all causes, we see his position, and we seriously offer him obeisances. So as the sloka says, when we fulfill these 3 conditions, we are eligible to go back to Godhead. And of course, in all this is the whole basic philosophy of Krishna consciousness included, that we are the soul and not the body, which is so important message we find in Bhagavad Gita, which then brings us to the transmigration, which we can see presented back here, seeing the changing of bodies and taking birth again, because that's important that we can accept that, It's not just as many think, it's just one life and it's done. Let enjoy as much as possible and then we are done. We are out from here and it's all over. Now we have reincarnation, and the next topic is of course related to that karma, we have the law book for this universe. Whatever we do has either good effects in the future or bad effects in the future. And of course, for us it's clear, there is Krishna, he is the Supreme Lord, He has many incarnations. Shastra says, as waves in the ocean, Krishna has so many incarnations. And they are, of course, demigods, they serve the Lord, but they are actually his representatives for different tasks he asked them to fulfill, As we know from Yamaraj, he's actually judging the ones who are leaving the body, the ones at least who are not able to go to the spiritual world, and is deciding what should happen next. And the next topic is, of course, that based on our millions of life, as said before, we have this covering which we have to dissolve so that we can become pure and are able to go back to Godhead. And as we have heard in the purport, of course, that this material world is only created that Krishna fulfills our desire because we want to lord it over and we want to enjoy. But at the same time, it is designed that it's not perfect. It is designed that at every step we can do a wrong step, have something, a challenge coming into the front of us, so that we come to the conclusion, this is really not a place for gentlemen. It is not a place for gentle ladies. Our only happiness can be when we go out. There is no real happiness to find in this world, So if we go to after the sloka, we go to the purport shortly. Srila Sridhar Swami, at the beginning of the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, that if we are a legitimate son, we will inherit the father's wealth. So if we remain live in Krishna consciousness, and we follow the four regulative principles, we will go back to Godhead. It's such a nice statement again for us, It's not so high up. It's something we can do with the Lord's mercy, with the Lord's help, and the association with devotees. So that's really something achievable, And Srila Prabhupada underlines again, what's said in the sloka itself, earnestly awaits, means it can be a long haul. It's not just happening tomorrow. It can be a long haul, but we need the patience so that we can really wait for that, And Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, when we surrender, the sins will be gone, And we read so many times in Namamrita in the morning, just somebody says one time the holy name, even in a blasphemy mood, all the sins are gone, more sins than he can ever create, So then, whatever happens in the life of the devotee, Srila Prabhupada says here, is to actually, it's a remnant of the sinful mentality. So even if the sins are gone, but the mentality is still there. So then the challenges the Lord gives us, it's actually a punishment, which actually resembles to sinful reactions, but in fact they are actually the mercy of the Lord, so that we can become purified. So the specific word here is named, specifically designed to curtail the mentality that produced the activity, so the mentality which led finally to the sin. And Srila Prabhupada says, even in this level of Krishna consciousness, the devotee may still have some inclination to enjoy, you know, and that's what actually will be erased through these different challenges that the Lord puts in front of us, you know. Srila Prabhupada underlines also, of course, that we should have a strong desire to go back to Godhead. So our realization has to be that this world is really not a place for us. And based on that, we should have this strong desire that, okay, let's get out of here and let's do everything we can do with the help of devotees, association with devotees, prayers, so that we finally can make out the step and we don't come back in this cycle of birth and death, because we never know what will happen the next time. Even if we know that our spiritual bank account will never be emptied, what we have accumulated through our activities will stay there, and we can always be relying on that. And we may hopefully take birth in a family of devotees and in a rich family where we have time to concentrate ourselves on our spiritual life. So the summary of the purport is, yes, this world is created for us to actually understand we are at the wrong place, we have to go forward. We should come to the level that we understand we need the mercy of the Lord to get out of this world, and we have just to earnestly wait for it. At the same time, of course, practice our Krishna consciousness. Yeah? And whatever at this level comes along, it's just the mercy of the Lord. So that actually this mentality is actually taken away from us, you know. So I wanted to give you about 5 minutes to think about 2021, you know. What are you grateful for? And where do you see the hand of the Lord in your past life and your life of 2021, the past year? If you can think about some minutes about that, and then we do the same for 2022. What are your goals? How you would like to move forward in your spiritual life? So if you can just, most of you have a phone with you, if you maybe just dip into the phone your thoughts you have, and we know it's not complete, it needs a little longer to go deeper into the analysis of 2021. Maybe you have already done it, but if you just spend some minutes on that one, and somebody may be willing to share something. So please start 2021. What are you grateful for? We heard you, but you can repeat it. Thank you.
I am most grateful for the association of all of the dear devotees here at New Vrindaban, and of course the guests that come. This past year has been the most wonderful experience of my life so far. I don't know that that can be topped. I was initiated.
We hear you. Mm-hmm.
As difficult as it has been sometimes, I now understand that it is Krishna's mercy, and I've accepted that when things happen. I've had a couple of deaths in the family and other things, but you know, that's all part of it, and it makes me want to go back more. But not for a while, because I'm really enjoying it here.
Thank you for saying that. Divyangi, can you see what's happening with the mic? Something is wrong. It's battery? can you go to the purchasing department? At the first corner, there is a drawer, and there are batteries. Huh? Thank you so much.
I just wanted to say that I'm always happy, since I'm not here all the time. I'm here a lot of the time, but I really appreciate every time that I come back. And the devotees here should really understand and appreciate their association and what we have here, because so many people don't have this opportunity to just drive down the road and have a nice temple and beautiful deities and a community where they can, really progress spiritually. The other thing I would like to say is I've been thinking a lot about our actions, our words, and how we act, and people can forget some of the things that happen, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. So everybody, I think in 2022 should really strive to be more kind to everyone, to really appreciate everyone, and to be open and honest with everyone in all their interactions. And I'm just so happy to be back here.
Thank you. So Sachimata said I make a summary because somehow, the key would be in the little basket in front of Mirabai's office. Yeah? So Sachimata said that we should not be complacent and not be grateful anymore what we have in Vrindavan. Be able to go and see darshan of the Lord every day, whatever. And for next year to be actually mindful of our words and activities and be honest and straightforward. Thank you. So we are mixing 21 to 22. Anybody else would like to join in from our guests? We heard now two devotees from New Vrindavan. Okay, in front here. Oh yeah, please.
Hare Krishna. It has been a life-changing last year for us. It started a little bit before 2021.
Can you take down your mask? We understand you better.
So Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Last year has been definitely a very much life-changing. It started a little bit before 2021, but spiritually, materially, it has made a big impact on us, the way we see the world. And of course, New Vrindavan has a tremendous amount of role to play in the transformation that we see in the world as we look at it. So all the devotees has been so kind, so helpful, and be there for us whenever we needed a little boost in the spiritual activities or a little bit of kindness to just kind of go. A little bit of it goes a very long way, and we have been very, 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 very grateful for that. And I hope it continues, and we can pass it on in the next year.
Thank you so much. I summarize. You said that 21 was challenging for many. It was troublesome based on the whole arrangements we had to go through, COVID and so many personal things. At the same time, you felt sheltered in New Vrindavan and you're grateful for that. Thank you. We had somebody here in front.
Okay, so Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you. I want to express my deep gratitude to New Vrindavan Dham and to all of you, because this 2021 has been very exciting for me. 2021 gave me my spiritual master. I got initiation here right in this temple room when you were there with me in my initiation. So I really want to express my gratitude to New Vrindavan Dham and all the devotees. I've been coming here every month, once a month at least, and I look forward to continue to be here.
It's a sign that Mike is working.
I don't see. Okay. Yeah. Sorry we have been disturbed by this noise, So you said you appreciated 21 because you found your guru, you got initiated, and you found shelter. Thank you so much.
Very, very kind and merciful. So I'm really grateful to you, and I hope to continue with New Vrindaban. It's my, I call it my second home.
Okay. Okay, can we focus a little bit on 2022? What are your desires? What are your goals? What you would like to do in your spiritual life? Huh? Anybody would like to share something with us? Mother Sikhi Mahiti.
2021 was the year I indulged in a lot of my stupidities. And frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. I prefer to continue whatever life is left in me here, right here, right with all of you and right with Krishna. Although I now reveal that Krishna has revealed to me that he's not just the deities on the altar or just this wonderful place and all you wonderful persons who are here. He is everywhere, in every atom, in every leaf, every flower, every blade of grass, every piece of dust under our feet, every drop of water we drink, everywhere. Everywhere we can look and see and imagine, Krishna is there forever. And it's not just only one form of Krishna, it's all the forms of Krishna. Throughout all of time, eternity, history, creation, annihilation, and all the time between, he is there. And now you, all of you, are here. My wish for 22 is that each one of you can convey this message to all the people you meet, and that you and they will realize that you don't have to worry about finding some book or some TV or some movie or some thing to remind you of the Supreme Lord, because he is everywhere. You are his devotees. You were already his devotees long before any universe like this was ever created, and you will be his devotees, personally serving him somehow or other, long after this universe has wound up and is no more. One breath of Krishna sends out, oh my goodness, one followed by 100 zeros. I don't even know how to pronounce the word. G-O-G-O-L, how do you pronounce that? A Googleplex is a Google to the Google power. And it goes on and on and on and on. It's so big, the amount and the time and the number and everything is so huge. There's no way that any of us can fully comprehend it. But this is Krishna. It's all his creation. He's the supreme, and he's everywhere. He's always been everywhere.
Thank you, Sikhi Mahiti.
His devotees.
Thank you so much. Thank you for reminding us about the Lord's presence everywhere, and at the same time our duty to spread Krishna consciousness to others. Anybody else would like to contribute something for 22? Over here, please.
Hare Krishna. For starters, this verse itself, may that become a realization. hṛd-vāg-vapurbhir, vidadhan namaste. Always with my heart, with my words, with my body. Offer my obeisances to Krishna with deep realization, just not mechanically.
Sure.
And leave the rest up to him, like the guarantee is given. Jīveta mukti-pade su dāya-bhāk. Just like Sridhar Swami mentioned in the purport, the rightful inheritance of a son is automatic by default. So, we are second generation grandsons of His Divine Vishnu Prabhupada. So certainly by His mercy, we are guaranteed a place. And back to God is nice, but back to God can be here, right here, wherever we live. Thakur Bhaktivinoda says that Jatha Vaishnava Ganesha Tham Vrindaban. So wherever there is Vaishnavas, that is indeed Vrindaban. So may I, for 2021, pray for more realizations, detachment to material things, material consciousness, and appreciate the devotees, because this is, the association of devotees is Golok Vrindavan. It is Vrindavan.
Thank you.
So, I seek the blessings of all of you. Haribo.
Thank you so much. I would like to end the class with a little story which was going around recently. We had Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj's disappearance day, and there was a story going around which shows us the mercy of the Guru. It said the Guru is the mercy incarnation of the Lord. And the story goes like this. So Bhaktisiddhanta had a disciple from Assam. He was initiated and he was chanting his rounds and following the four regulative principles, whatever. But when Bhaktisiddhanta was gone, somehow he came into bad association. And finally he stopped chanting, he started to eat meat, do not follow the four regulative principles anymore, and so on. And the Lord finally, by His mercy, he became sick, and he left the body. But when he was on the burning ground, his body on the pile of wood started to be burned, he suddenly shouted out, "Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada." And the people there thought, oh, it's a ghost, and they all ran away because they don't wanted to be in contact with this ghost. But what happened is that when this devotee left the body, he has seen the Yamadutas, two big ones, not looking nice, taking him, And it's described that he had to go to a desert. And he was so thirsty that he asked them, I need some water, I need some water. So they brought him to a little pond. But the pond was full of pus and blood and, mucus, whatever. And they said, he complained and said, "What are you bringing me here? I want water." And said, "This is the only thing you can get until we go to Yamaraj." So then he came to Yamaraj's place. And Yamaraj's servant, it was a long line, and he was standing in line, and he could see everybody in front of him was sent to hell, because the servant was looking at the activities of the different living entities, and said, "Okay, you go to this hell, to that hell, this and whatever." So he was thinking, "Oh, my Lord, what will happen with me?" But when he came to the servant thought, I have to bring you to Yamaraj. So when this disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta came in front of Yamaraj, Yamaraj was asking and said, "What have been any good deeds you did in life?" So he said, "Oh, I was actually initiated by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, and I was chanting." So Yamaraj said, "Oh." He was calling Bhaktisiddhanta right away. So Bhaktisiddhanta appeared. And the disciple, he was flat falling down on the ground, paying obeisances and asking for forgiveness and understanding what bad he had done in his life, as he wasted the mercy he received through an initiation. And Bhaktisiddhanta accepted his request, to forgive him. And he asked him to go to Calcutta, I forgot the name of the Swami, to go there and take initiation again. So on the burning ground, the devotee stood up. He walked away from his pile. He went into his family and said, "I'm renouncing everything. I'm done. I go to Kolkata as my spiritual master instructed me. And when he arrived there, he met his future spiritual master. He started to explain to him what happened. He said, you know, you don't have to, I am aware what is your situation. And he has given him Diksha initiation again. And the devotee was from now on very serious in his spiritual life and finally made it way back to Godhead. So this example shows us how the incarnation of the mercy of the Lord, the Guru, is another way for us to be the receiver of the causeless mercy of the Lord, you know. And it's so unbelievable. So this was recited 3 years ago, actually at a memorial for this Guru from Kolkata, and devotees had been telling this story, and different ones had heard it before when this devotee was still alive. So thank you much for your attention this morning. We will have now breakfast. We serve in the community hall, and we have our activities of the day posted at different places. Please see whatever fits for you. I said before the class, we have at 9:30 already a yagya. You can join in, or 10 o'clock we have our Govardhan Parikrama. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Jai Krishna Das Prabhu ki
Jai.